depressed, it's raining, it's dark, and there'll be more than one of them. So, over the course of the next few weeks, we will be building you guys up, building a resistance up in you guys to any of these sort of adverse stimuli. So what we're going to have a look at right now is the idea of just a bit of disorientation based on groups. So, what you're going to be doing is shoving each other. Break up into groups of 4. So, who's another? Bren. So, grab 3 people. So all we're going to do with Bren for a couple of seconds is play ping-pong. So I'm going to get him in the water. One we're going to shove in the here. I'm going to grab Bren's wrist. And Bren then needs to react. Okay? So the point is that Bren is kind of going to get bounced around and swung around a little. Now, you can be as violent or as not violent as the person in the middle is comfortable with. If I'm happy with an awful lot of rough play, and let's say Warren would be a far more civilized human being than me, it doesn't do any of us any good for me to really impose my will on Warren. So figure out amongst yourselves what's acceptable. As I said, play ping pong, and at some point or another, someone grab a wrist. Okay? When you grab a wrist, don't stop and wait for him to do something. So throw him into the air. Catch. And it's at that point you want to run this drill. Okay? If you want to spice it up a bit, instead of grabbing, let's say, right and left, you can grab right and right. Remember what to do last week? Instead of grabbing that way, you can grab like Ingrid did. Just thumb down. If you want to spice it up, you maybe push. If you grab them, as soon as you hit the hands, smack. So suddenly you need your hair grab as well. So mess it up a bit. Get used to this. Anyone wearing glasses, probably take them off now. Anyone wearing a watch should definitely have it off by now. Go. This way. Now let's add a little bit of attitude into it. So instead of kind of walking and just pushing Kevin, why don't I kind of maybe take a more aggressive posture? You know, I might even scowl. You know, I might kind of make a noise. And this is quite different. This is quite different in quality because suddenly I feel like I'm being aggressive. But also because Kevin's picking up on my body language and even just the feel of hearing behind him in that same posture, Kevin feels like he's being abreast upon. So this again begins helping us deal with a more aggressive opponent or a more aggressive attacker. So, by the way, please make no mistake, this is just a training exercise. I'm not teaching you how to fight multiple groups of people using this ultra secret technique. This is just getting you used to the idea of being disoriented, shoved around, you know, kind of growl that, snarl that, and that sort of thing. So, let's look at a bit of an aggressive posture point for a second. So, like I said, instead of just a posture, yep. Okay? And then, in all that, take the hand grab. Now, again, only go as hard as the person in the middle is comfortable, but obviously, the more you can do here, the more you are equipping yourself to survive should it ever happen for real. Yes? Okay, go. So, let's pretend now, instead of just a wrist grab, let's take a bear hook. So, who's small? Check. You'll do it. So, some people, instead, can be carried away. So, let's have a look at that instead. Okay? We'll do it in isolation, just to take a look at our possibilities, and then we'll do it in kind of a slightly messier circumstance. So the first thing to look at here is, what is the actual danger? So as that comes on, he's just pinned my arms down. Now, it is in the very, very rare case that he is going to manage to make me asphyxiate, to actually squeeze the air out of me. It's an actual come on, this way. So I guarantee you, he'll run out of energy long before I run out of air. And this goes for all of you. This isn't just because, you know, I'm a bit bigger than him. So, my real danger here is that if he picks me up, I have nothing. I'm in serious trouble. So, let us take a look at that first. So, does anyone remember the birdie sign? That? Okay. As Karen grabs me, all I want to do is lift these a little bit. That's it. That's all I need. So just go, whoa, Jesus, what's that? Okay? As that's going to happen anyway, when in doubt, step on something, boom, or kick something, or hit the head. You have options. I could teach you to do is flare the elbows and stamp the legs. Same thing. Go. So as soon as I feel that grab, whoa. Now I have options. I might not have too many of them, but I have options. So, shall we stop to there, or do you want to put in one more? One more move? Okay. Go around, hit a bit of how's that? So, he grabs, stamp. I got a foot there in that case. Lucky. Last time I didn't. So, I am stopping here. This is not a martial arts, although what this actually is this is now Kieran's groin. Okay, it is not. It's just a floppy hand. Yes? What will happen if we hit the groin? Head comes down, yeah? So from there, we can either, depending on where the head goes, if it goes too far forward, you can hit it with that hand. If you're feeling a little more bullish, you can get one of them. In reality, if that's there anyway, give them that. It's there anyway. Yep, so. Stamp, smack, whang. This is our first response to this scenario. Yes? Give that a shot. Stamp. Okay? In the same way, the first thing I want to do is tell my body that the direction you're moving in is not upwards. Like, actually, we'll do this experiment very quickly as well. So what you want to do is just stand the way you are, your partner's going to bear hug you from behind and lift you up. Okay? The next thing you're going to do is stand on your tippy toes. Your partner's going to bear hug you and lift you up. Okay? The next thing you're going to do is do this. Your partner's going to grab you and lift you up. Now, try that. Come back to me in 60 seconds. Tell me which one is harder. Go. Up when they were on their tippy toes. Okay? And hands up who thought it was easy to lift them up when they were squatting. Now, why do we think that is? What am I telling my body if I'm standing like this? Yep, get ready to go up. It's usually ballerinas and things like that. They're going to spring off at the pointed toes. Gymnasts do, jumpy people do. Not me. So, by that token, what am I telling my body when I go, whoa? Where am I going? Where does my body think its mass is going? Right, so let's go back to our bear hug. Brand bear hugs me from behind. So obviously we're going to flare these at the same time. Okay? I'm just going to step out. Now I don't have all day, so I'm not going to have enough time to go 1, 2. So all we're going to do is we're going to go, whoa! Because now my body thinks I'm going down.
Where's the box?
No idea, mate. Yep. So now, I'm not saying it's impossible. I mean, if I may demonstrate using little Tommy here for a second. It doesn't matter how deeply my body thinks I'm going down. With sufficient size, I'm going up. All we're doing is finding a second. So if I'm going to snatch and lift me, as is, I'm done. Okay? If the same snatch comes in with a stamp, it just buys me a second. But that's all I need. Okay? So, let us have a look at another possibility. Let's say instead of from behind, this time Tommy's going to grab me from the side. So fortunately, the answer is exactly the same. Hit the groin. If the arm's loosened, you can lift that up. If they don't, do that. And do it. Even if it's very, very soft. You see the top of your head, where your hair touches the skin, where the hairline is. Try and get that into roughly the center of his face. Either the nose, the bridge of the nose, or the cheek. You don't want to go higher, because then you're like rams or deer in mating season. You'll be there all day. You don't want to go too much lower, because then you end up with these on there. You don't want that. So, in this case, because it's from behind, I can hit that, and I've got space to get in there. In this case, because it's from the side, when I hit there, he's probably not going to go, ah. If he does, then happy days. More than likely not. So, hit there and hit the head. Okay? Try and get your head into the center of his face. Do it softly, please. Don't maim each other. But then ask yourself, what do you do next? Can you give me a quick answer? What do I do next? Anyone? Get the hell out of there. Do this as part of your training routine. So go like that, hit him, do a little one of those. Do one to others and one we were saying, Kevin pushes me, instead of just going, ah, I'm going to put my chin here, tuck my chin up, and kind of sit down into the fall. So in doing so, this kind of happens instead. So in addition to that, all we need to do is give the ground a little slap. No matter which way you fall, be it backwards, which you've seen, sideways, which we're about to demonstrate. There we go. Or even forwards. As long as you give that ground a little slap, you're protecting yourself from injury. Now, I'm not going to lie, doing this on floorboards or flagstones is not nice. You will not do it all day, but you won't need to. All you need to do is survive that initial assault. So, what we're going to look at now is just the idea of getting tussled onto the ground. With everybody's permission, does anybody have a problem with being dragged and dropped on the floor? Not too hard, no? Okay. So, Bren, in this case, is going to be the one on the floor. I am going to get Bren down. So, rather than worry about anything in particular, I want to put Bren on the ground. Do it however I want. So, because I'm a little bit stronger than Bren, I'm going to drag him and lift him, throw it down. That's all I want. This teaches me, again, just to cultivate that aggression, this teaches Bren not to panic as soon as his personal space is invaded and he lands on the floor. Okay, so can we do that? Anyone have an issue, or is that okay? Cool, go. Okay? She goes down, she doesn't get hurt, she gets back up, yeah? So, here's a question then. Why did you get back up into me? Did I not just attack you?
Yes, you did.
Okay, so, hope you don't mind, thank you. So, just something to think about again. Like I said, survival is a habit. We are what we repeatedly do. If you get pushed over, shake your head and say, push it. Why the hell do I want to get back up into them now? There are all manner of different ways that I can roll and flip and whatever and dive out of that. They will take longer to learn than is worthwhile for what we are trying to achieve. So, if you want to learn how to do ninja rolls, absolutely ask someone in pajamas on the maps, they will show you. But just get used to the idea. From that push, get up and leave. As I get up, I cover off. Get used to the habit of surviving. So, do another 60 seconds like that, and then we'll reach. We'll take it off a shove just to make life easy. The thing not to do is don't panic. Dive forwards. Because while it is possible to take that with a certain amount of training, you know, like I said, you've even got rolls and things like that. They will take a lot more time to learn than is necessarily worthwhile unless you intend to learn the martial art formally. What you need to think about is, he is essentially shoving my head at the floor. I want to stop that happening. So, the quickest way to turn all of that force to scatter it is as he pushes me, hook her a bit, and then fall forward. When I fall forward, I'm not going, I'm using my full forearm and I'm just kind of doing this to the floor. And lastly, very, very importantly, I'm turning my head to the side. Why? Why am I turning my head to the side?
Not to wiggle the face.
There we go. Protect the money maker. So, Karen pushes, you give it a little hump. Here, go! You just do that. So immediately all of that force goes that way, and then it goes that way. Never get up and run. Okay? So give that a bit of a try. Go. A is probably one of the more common ways in which your personal space is going to get violated in your particular circumstance. You are living in one of the safest countries, in one of the safest parts of the world. Your chances of actually being the victim of a violent crime in this town in particular are somewhere near zero. I will get the stats and I will read them out to you. You are by and large very safe in Maynooth. So the likelihood of someone coming up and just banging the head on you is fairly slim. More than likely, what you will experience is an invasion of personal space or something that will make you feel uncomfortable instead. For instance, a wrist grab. These are particularly unpleasant just because they can make you feel quite helpless and disempowered. So, what we have looked at so far is the idea of, really what I want you to take notice. You've had your personal space invaded, you have a quick reaction. Stop and dragging you away. Okay? A little Why wouldn't we scream? Would we make a noise? What do you think? Sure as hell would. You know, if he had grabbed me, and I thought genuinely trying to be, alright, help! Help! Whoa! Immediately, I've alerted all of you to the potential of a violent attack in progress or something of the sort. But I've also suddenly kicked up an awful fuss. And in his head, he envisioned this working out this way. So in his head, it might have been something that would have gone very, very quiet. So me jumping up and down and kicking up a bit of a fuss is well outside of what he would have expected. That might buy me an extra second. And if nothing else, it sure as hell increases my chance of being assisted. So consider these things. From there, we've had a look at what about from being grabbed from behind. Again, it's kind of benign enough. It could happen. You know, it's a lot more likely than someone going up behind you and putting you into a figure four to the person. And the last thing we looked at there is hitting the ground kind of safely. So, can we put that all together within the context of a group activity? Yes? Questions? So, what we're going to do is, for instance, Tony here, we're going to kind of shove the warren around, or we're going to close in around the first area, shove around, and warren has to get out of the middle of us, but at the very least, stop us putting around to the stick. And again, just get used to being manhandled. This will unlikely actually never happen to you, but you only need to be unlucky once. So get used to dealing with this kind of pressure, and really, it's mostly emotional pressure when you think about it, because this bunch of scroats is invading on my personal really. So get used to dealing with this emotional pressure, and get used to having answers, even simple answers, to these questions. So, gentlemen, your job is to put me on the floor. My job is to get the hell out.